guys, it's Dr. Seuss week, so we are going to celebrate by creating our own page of a Dr. Seuss book. So I don't know about you guys, but my favorite Dr. Seuss book ever is One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. So that's what I picked for you guys as your assignment today. You're going to add a page, add your own page to One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. So if you haven't read it or you don't know what that book is, I've attached a video to the lesson for you to watch someone reading the book to you. But I think you guys have probably all read it before because it's a super famous one. So what we're going to do, first thing, to add our page, we have to do a little writing with this assignment. So I have written my own little verse here for adding my page, okay, because we're doing a book page, so it's got to have some writing with it. So if you think about what One Fish, Two Fish sounds like, you know, the story's adding all these different animals to it as it goes by, and it's like the kids are taking them on a tour of all these different creatures throughout this world, and they're like, this one's like this, and that one's like that, and so on. So I started with that kind of idea. So my little verse says, this one is called a blub. It likes to play in the tub. While it plays, it likes to scrub. Have you ever seen a blub scrub tub? So to do that, I picked something like a word that would be really, really easy to rhyme with, okay? And then I thought, what kinds of things, because you want to be able to get several words really easily to rhyme with it. So, so I picked blub. Whoops, and I just realized I didn't capitalize that. Okay. So blub, tub, scrub, there's so many things you could rhyme with that. So pick something simple, like you might want to, give your creature a crazy name like, Jabberwocky, which is from Alice in Wonderland or something like that, but that would be really hard to rhyme with. So pick something that's easy to rhyme with, and then just build from there. So I went like blub, tub, scrub, those were like the first words that came to my mind, and I just put them all together in this little kind of nonsense rhyme and reuse them as many times as I could. So I've got my little verse here, and this is part of my page. So now that I have this, I didn't know what is a blub. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's going to be like. But apparently it likes to play in the tub and it likes to scrub. So I'm going to have some sort of creature in a tub, and I'm going to have to think, what does a blub look like in my imagination, keeping in mind that I am doing this in Dr. Seuss style. Okay, so I'm going to copy my text here. You could just type it right into your sketchbook if you were going to work in sketchbook, or you can just write it on your page. However, you guys can work however you want. And I'll just paste this in here and click OK. And so now I've got this here to work with. So this is going to become part of my page. So as I do this, I want to think like, where would it be aligned on the page? Probably down in the bottom corner somewhere. If I'm thinking of a Dr. Seuss book or whatever, it would be down there somewhere probably. So I'm going to make kind of the frame of my page here. So that looks about the right width for a page. Whoops, I had a weird brush on there. Let's just get a normal old brush and try that again. I'm going to make it a little, there, that looks about right to me. Of course, then I did it in green, and I don't want to do that. So, one thing about the Dr. Seuss style that you guys are going to want to think about is colors. Dr. Seuss does not use like a lot of colors, and there was a reason for that. The reason being, especially back in the old days, printing cost a lot of money, and the less colors you used, the less it cost to print something. So printing a book that only had a few colors in it was really economical and made a lot more sense for a lot of publishers. So printing out Dr. Seuss's stuff in just these few colors that you see, that became his style. And it looks really, really cool. And if we're doing Dr. Seuss nowadays and we really want to mimic his style, we want to limit our colors to those colors that we would see in the books. So you might think about that, like as you look at One Fish, Two Fish, think about what colors are used, what colors aren't used. Like you're never going to find like all these bright pinks and stuff like that. You're not going to find that in Dr. Seuss, you know, so think about the style before you start drawing. So once you've got that, you know, if you're working in Sketchbook, make sure you're putting things on different layers so that you can change this. Like if this gets in the way later on, I want to be able to move it and not have it attached to the picture, because if I draw in this same layer and I try to move this, the picture will move too. So now I've got to decide, you know, what does my blub look like? And I might want to give myself a few little like practice sketches or something before I even start. I'm just going to go to black because usually the outline in Dr. Seuss is black. Make this a little smaller. I don't even know. I don't think that brush is right. I'm going to go with something, no, maybe something more like that. I'm just going to make it a lot smaller and see if I like it. Yeah, that's kind of textury and cool. Maybe just a little bit smaller. Okay. So now I've got to figure out, what does a blub look like? And, you know, if you think about Dr. Seuss creatures, they have a lot of things like tufted hair, you know, things like that. They might have texture on them. Like if you're thinking of the Cat in the Hat, he's got all, you know, these lines of texture all over him. They've got weird feathers and stuff, but a lot of this kind of shape, you know, where you're seeing just these quick lines. Their mouths oftentimes, you know, come around and have things like that, right? So where you would see the cheeks. Their eyes are kept pretty simple usually. And what else? You might have like eyelashes or something like that. You've got like the fingers on them usually have this kind of like hairy fingers. Like if you look at their paws or whatever, they've got this kind of thing going on. So, you know, you're going to want to make your own observations for your own character. So it helps to really just start by looking at the book or reading the book. So if you are not sure, start by really studying the video there of the book. Or if you have the book at home, page through it, that's even better, so that you can, you know, really get your own ideas of what makes something Dr. Seuss. Okay. A lot of times creatures have long, skinny necks in Dr. Seuss. They might have hats and stuff like that. You'll see stripes, right? Especially like think the Cat in the Hat, things like that. So you do what you like. You take the things that you like from that, and you add to it. Also remember in this book that we're adding a page to, there's the kids, and they kind of have, you know, their own thing going on there. And, you know, to do that, let's look. So here we've got Sally and this kid, and their eyes are little circles, okay? Their mouths are really simple. Their heads are just shaped like whatever. Their hair is a lot of lines. You might notice there's a lot of like lines for shadow and shading in Dr. Seuss. So like instead of having another color of yellow here, he just made it darker by adding those shadow lines. He's got a lot of grass with that same, again, that same squiggly line. He adds some 3D in like his signs and things like that. But, and like where this hat goes around, it's a little 3D there. See how it wraps around? But they're really simple. So this is just slouchy. This guy's got these little hairs sticking out of his face. And again, that shape of the mouth. Okay, so his mouth is open and it goes back down around. Those weird kind of finger-like things. He didn't worry too much about the detail of those things. Okay, so like the hands on this little guy are just pretty simplified. So the water, again, has like all squiggly lines and stuff. There's just all kinds of interesting things, but it's pretty simple. So back we go. Now I have to figure out what a blub looks like, and he's going to be in a tub. Okay, so let me get a new layer here, and I'm going to start with my tub because my thing says, have you ever seen a blub scrub tub? So I want my tub to be unique as well. Okay, so I'm going to start by getting my anchor line on so that I can draw smooth lines like that. And then I'm going to start with this kind of tub shape here. And I think I'll bring it around. I'm not going to like do the back of it yet because I don't like how that came out. Okay, because I want to leave some room for drawing the critter or whatever it is inside here. So I'm going to start, okay, bring that around, and then bring this around like so. Okay, so that gives me kind of a good start for my shape, and I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit. All right, so now I have this tub that looks like it might, you know, rock this way or that way. So I'm going to put some legs on it, but I don't want to just make it like a normal tub. I want to make it cute and Dr. Seuss-like. So where I put my legs, you know, is going to make it more whimsical. So I could, you know, I could have like sticking out the side here to prop it up or something like that. Or I could have like little tiny legs maybe on the bottom. I think that to me says more like Dr. Seuss. So I'm going to do like some impossible little legs that don't look like they would actually hold up this big tub. So there's, I'm just going to make one sticking out from the other side so it's like a tripod. So this tub's on this tiny little tripod of legs. And then I'm going to have like the water line kind of here, maybe where it comes around. And then my blub, I don't know, a blub sounds kind of big and fat to me, but it also sounds like a creature that could be fish-like, which would go great with one fish, two fish, or maybe something that has like a an interesting kind of blobby kind of shape. So, you know, you hear blub, blob. So let's see what we could do with those ideas. So maybe I think I want my blub to be really happy because he likes to play in the tub. So I'm going to give him a big smile to start out with. So let's start with this. We'll start with this shape here with the big smile. And then cheeks. Okay. And let's see what his, I'm going to give him like a weird kind of, go with that shape on top of his head, I think. And bring this around here. I'm going to give him like big chubby cheeks because I want him to look real smiley. And then I'm going to give him his circle eyes, kind of, and maybe just connect that there. And we'll give it, I just want him to look so happy. He's playing in his tub. Okay, he's got like eyelashes. Maybe it's a girl, I don't know, or just whatever. Okay, so then, well, so then we'll kind of bring this around. I want him to look blubby, so he's going to look kind of blubby. I'm going to make him kind of this kind of blubby shape, I think. So that's going to be his blubbiness. And I'll give him like some arms coming out here that are just kind of blubby as well. He's got to be scrubbing though, right? So let's see. So this, he's going to have a hand here with like a washcloth or something. Let's see. Maybe I'll add this on another layer just to kind of be safe here. Let's see. We're going to make this washcloth go over him. Just keep, you know, playing with it until you get something you like. So here's the washcloth and the blubby hand holding the washcloth. I don't know. And he's got these thin little arms. Well, his, let me undo, well, I'm going to make it go from thick. His arms are going to go from thicker to thinner because I think that looks funny. So, because he's blubby. So we'll just add his blubbiness all around here. And because there's a lot of like shadow and shading and stuff like that, you know, I can kind of get a lot of that going in here to get the Dr. Seuss feel. Get some more lines in here. You definitely want lots of lines and texture and all that. Now that I have my blub in the bath, let's see, maybe there's a little water going up. I don't know, is he splashing a little bit? And I can bring that around behind there, and where the water's splashing. And around here. That's kind of weird because I have that on a different layer than the other thing. So that probably wasn't the best choice, but I'm going to go with it for now. And then bring the water around in here. Okay. And now I'm just going to add lots of good lines and texture. Again, that's a really, really important part of Dr. Seuss is getting like all that texture and shadow lines and stuff like that. He does a lot of that. So if my blub's pretty blubby here, I'm going to do so much of this, you know, with all these just almost scribbly lines that Dr. Seuss does. They're like literally almost scribbly. So my blub's looking pretty blubby here now. And here's like where he goes into the water. Let's see, I'll get rid of that line right there. Here's where his body disappears into the water. And I'm going to add more drops of water around too, just because, you know, and again, they're just really quick. Like, it looks like they were just drawn so fast. So you're just going for it. Because if you try to do a drop and you're like, oh, okay, it's all perfect like that, that's not going to look nearly as Dr. Seuss as if you just, you know, even if it doesn't close up or look entirely done, you're going to get that kind of more Dr. Seuss-y effect from that kind of thing. So again, let's do this. I'm going to add lots of texture around his eyes even. Just to get like a little more depth in there. Let's add some sort of nose-like thing in here. Again, kind of scribbly, you know. That's just how it's done. So lots and lots. So we'll add more shadow in here by adding lines, cross-hatching even, you know, and you just go for it and don't think about it too much. Just try and like what, you know, remember what is the Dr. Seuss feel? What does it seem like when you're looking at his art or looking at those pictures? How does that make you feel? And try and bring that feeling through in your art. Just try and make it really interesting. I feel like, you know, I need some sort of maybe background here. So it doesn't have color yet. It doesn't have a lot of things yet. I feel like maybe there could be like little swirls in the water or something. And then one thing like you might notice on some of the pages, there's just like background colors, like squares, whatever. So let's see, what would a good Dr. Seuss color be? Kind of like a blue, like maybe about like that, I think. So it would look like a good Dr. Seuss blue. And now I'm on a new layer. I was gonna put a square here. Oh, I probably should have chosen a better brush. I'll do that in a better brush for getting a nice smooth line. I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna fill it in. Now you're probably thinking, what are you doing, Mrs. Doherty? I'm gonna bring this down under all these. Okay. And then once I'm down there, I'm also going to take this and let's rotate it. and move it. I'm going to make it a little smaller. And we'll just even go, oh, maybe a bit bigger. I'm going to go right off the page like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there kind of as my background, because sometimes Dr. Seuss does weird things like that behind his critters. And then I'm going to go ahead now and kind of color in some of this. So it helps to have your layers on multiply. It's supposed to let you like color it in and have the lines be underneath, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes that malfunctions on mine. So what color is a blub? That is a good question, right? And I just noticed my text. I'm not even sure, is that it? Nope. I need to go down more. My text needs to be on top of that. Okay, so that it shows up. Okay, so now I want to think about, what colors would I see in Dr. Seuss stuff. So let's go over here. And we've got, okay, a really light blue, which is the same blue. It's just less saturation than this. Yellow is definitely a thing. Let's kind of skip through some of these pages here. Again, we've got that same blue and yellow. We've got red, yellow, and that same blue. It's just, again, made into a lighter blue here. And so the same thing with the yellows. This is just a different saturation of the same yellow as this. So it's like less dots per inch when they're printing it. So one fish, two fish is pretty much limited to black, red, yellow, and blue. It's kind of like a blue-green, actually, like a teal, I guess. So again, black, red, yellow, or blue. So here's like kind of what I was thinking, like doing weird shapes and stuff behind. So I feel like I need to change my blue to get more of this color of blue. So my blue is not nearly the right shade of blue. So first let's see, it's going to be more green, maybe in that range somewhere. So I'm going to go here and refill that. Okay, maybe a little lighter. It looks pretty dark there. Let's see, go back and look. That's pretty close. All right, I'm gonna go with that. So now I've got yellow, I've got red, and black to work with. I mean, obviously I'm gonna want my blue to stay here. I'm gonna want my tub to be white. That, doesn't require much of color. So if I go and get some like marker or something to, let's see, well, oh, what did I get? All right, let's try this. I'm gonna turn multiply off on this. And yeah, there, that works better. Okay, but then I'm gonna have problems with my lines. So I could just, instead of doing it there, I'm just gonna make a layer underneath. It'll color underneath the black for me still that way. It's kind of another way to do it. Multiply lets lots of layers go through. So I'm just gonna work on coloring this and finishing it, but I'm gonna speed the video up, so I'm gonna stop talking. Alrighty, there's my finished page. If you wanted to, you could even put like a page number or something at the bottom if you wanted to get that creative. That is up to you. Hopefully you guys come out with some really cool Dr. Seuss characters. Just the most important thing to remember about this one, aside from having lots of fun with it, because it's Dr. Seuss and Dr. Seuss is so fun, but aside from that, the most important thing is to remember to really try to make it look like something that Dr. Seuss would draw. So try and go for his style. Try and really look and think about, what does he do? How do his drawings look? And then make that work for you. Use the Dr. Seuss kinds of colors, and you should be good to go. All right, have fun, guys.